COVID-19 pandemic and the Ukraine crisis have both revealed the devastating impact of Africa's dependence on external markets. The fact that after more than 60 years of independence, Africa remains unable to feed itself, clothe itself, finance itself, and medically care for itself, care for its people, speaks volumes about the road we still have to travel to attain self-dignity.
The president of the Africa Export-Import Bank encapsulates the essence of the second African Sub-Region Governments Network Conference. With 54 African countries as signatories to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, intra-African trade still stands at only 16% of total African trade.
As leaders, we must all be concerned that we are not trading enough amongst ourselves. It is a bitter reality that intra-regional trade still accounts for a very tiny fraction of total trade in Africa. We have to understand that if this new drive towards a continental free trade area is to succeed, we must demonstrate a higher level of commitment to tackle the slow pace of physical integration due to geographic and political fragmentations, B, the face of political cooperation, and C, difficult tariff and non-tariff barriers that inhibit business integration.
African Sub-Region Governments Network recognizes that though trade and commercial policies are national, their implementation is usually sectoral and local. This buttresses the role of regional and local governments in actualizing the vision of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
I am aware that more than 10 states in Nigeria have now set up their technical working groups on the African CFTA. Our charge to the states is to build an ecosystem around specific products and or service value chains to achieve a minimum of $1.2 billion of exports by the year 2035.
The success of the African Sub-Sovereign Network as a formidable network will greatly depend on the ability of its members to look beyond individual interest in favor of the collective interest that would advance continental excellence. It will also depend on the strength of the commitment of our strategic partner, the African Export-Import Bank, as well as other partners who are genuinely focused on the Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
The AFCTA provides the continent an opportunity to deepen intra-Africa trade by promoting a liberalized market that supports the free flow of capital, goods and services. And the Afrexim Bank restates its commitment to support the opportunities the agreement offers.
We've disbursed over $20 billion in the past 5 years to support intra-African trade. And we plan to do $40 billion in the next 5 years. We have supported the AFCTA Secretariat through funding, providing them grants to make sure they operate effectively. We launched a collaboration with the AFCTA Secretariat and AU Commission, the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, to support payment for intra-African trade in African currencies. That system is now operating. We have provided $3 billion to enable us to support the clearing and settlement under that system. We've also launched the African Collaborative Transit Guarantee Scheme to enable goods to move across African borders easily. Working with our partners, Arise Integrated Industrial Parks, we are building industrial parks and special economic zones across Africa, with projects completed or ongoing in Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, Malawi, Chad. And we will continue to do so until we begin to export manufactured goods in a considerable quantity.
The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa predicts that by 2040, the implementation of the AfCFTA will raise intra-African trade by $50 billion to $70 billion, while the World Bank estimates that the AfCFTA will lift 30 million people out of extreme poverty and substantially increase the income of 68 million people who are just slightly above the poverty line. Onyi Sunday, Arise News.